From corruption, from murder, from psychological warfare, from even terrorist plots against David Beckham, this is the dark history of the World Cup. Trigger warning. Potential triggering content ahead. Viewer discretion is advised. The FIFA Corruption scandal. So we have to go all the way to 2006 in Bangkok, Thailand. We meet up with this guy in a KFC. His name is Lee Chin. He owns this huge, rich betting syndicate all over Asia. He's a very powerful man. And well, you kind of decide that you want to bet during the World Cup. And well, this guy called Lee Chin, he says that he can change the results of the World Cup and giving you a guarantee and a run for your money. And the result you want is that during a match between Brazil and Ghana, you want that the result is that Brazil earns 2 goals more than Ghana. So you want Ghana to lose and that Brazil has 2 goals more than Ghana. So this is a pretty risky bet in normal terms because you can't really determine how many goals Brazil makes. So it's possible Brazil wins, but they might only make 1 goal. But you want them to make 2 goals over Ghana. So, okay, that's pretty good, difficult to do, difficult to guarantee. But this guy Lee Chin, he could guarantee it. And he wouldn't be, a fortune teller. He would pay people to make this happen. You know the saying, follow the money and you will find the truth. Well, this is exactly what happened. This guy Lee Chin, and his associates would pay players from the Ghana team, or also the captain from the Ghana team, to make that bet happen. That Brazil has 2 goals more than Ghana. And the final results, Brazil won 3-0. And this has still happened in 2010 during the South African World Cup, where this referee was paid. Right before a match, he was paid $100,000. And that was just before a match between Guatemala and South Africa. And just like magically, South Africa would win 5-0 against Guatemala. And apparently that $100,000 came from a guy called Wilson Raj Perumal. The money came from Singapore. And this was also a very rich guy in betting syndicates. And he basically paid this guy so he can win his bet. And he actually, after he got arrested for doing this kind of things, he would say that it's easy and that football associations would welcome you with open arms. Basically saying that it was easy to rig matches. And you could just pay people and he would easily be able to rig these football matches and earn easy free money. The Dutch pool scandal. So we're in 1974. And imagine you're this Dutch player, you're really proud that your country is finally arriving to the finals and you're fighting against West Germany. And you're really excited that you might be able to win the World Cup. Well, the Germans had a different idea. So you go back to your hotel and you go relax. And well, there's people searching for you, knock at your door. And you see these amazingly pretty ladies, these pretty German ladies coming to your door. And well, you make the big mistake of letting them in. And well, while you're with these girls at the eve of the finals, well, these German photographers take pictures of you with these girls. Now, you also, well, you may not have forgotten, but you have a wife, right? And your wife sees these pictures, and imagine what's the reaction. And so you argue with your wife all night, and at the finals you're tired and exhausted from arguing with your wife, and you lose the finals. Well, this was all planned by the Germans. The girls were paid by the Germans, and the journalists were also paid by the Germans. And it was all a ploy to get you to lose, get you to be tired right before the World Cup, so that you are exhausted physically from talking all night and not sleeping, and you're also exhausted from all the bad publicity you've been getting, and you're really demoralized. And well, yeah, this is how the West Germans kind of rigged the finals and kind of attacked the Dutch players using some methods of psychological warfare. So imagine it's 1994 and you're this soccer player and you want to make your country proud. You want to make the country that is Colombia proud. And you already won 5-0 against Argentina, a total destruction. And now you're gonna face your biggest enemy, the United States. But you accidentally score in your own goal.
Kovimman hinnan Kolumbian putoamisesta maksoi puolustaja Andrés Escobar, joka ottelussa Yhdysvaltoja vastaan teki oman maalin. Joukkueen palattua kotimaahan Escobar joutui
Disgrace. And you go back to your home country, and well, Colombia at that time was very violent. And well, your friends are telling you, man, you scored your own goal. You made Colombia lose 2-1 to the United States. You should probably stay hidden because the cartel might get you. And well, Andres, the guy we're talking about who scored the own goal, his name was Andres Escobar, and he says that even though I scored my own goal, I have to show my face to the people. And he did. He went to a nightclub in Colombia, had a good time, and was sitting in his car. And suddenly another car pulls up and shoots him. He has shot once, and the killers scream, "Goal!" Shoot him for one last time, and they scream, "Goal!" And just because you accidentally scored a goal on your own team, well, you have been killed. And the worst part is that if they didn't do it, someone else did it. And he was lucky that at that time, Pablo Escobar was not alive. And he was no stranger of meddling into football. He would kill people. For example, he would kill a referee who wanted to rig a match with Colombia. And he was no stranger of being very involved in football and murdering people. So some scholars say that even if these people didn't do it, well, Escobar would have killed them anyways. The FIFA screaming prisoners. So we're 1978 in an Argentinian prison. In Argentina, there was a thing called the Dirty War. And during the Dirty War, well, they made people disappear. About 30,000 people disappear. And as Newton says, things can't just disappear. They gotta go somewhere. And some of these people ended up in this torture center called the Escuela Superior de Almada, which is basically a school where they torture people in the basements. Well, imagine what happened when Argentina was chosen as the place for the World Cup. Well, the torture center was actually 1 mile away from the stadium. And these prisoners would be tortured, well, they would be hearing people cheer in the FIFA, in the stadium, while they were being tortured. And actually, when the FIFA World Cup happened, the prisoners who were before in the basement, they were moved to upstairs. And the basement was turned into this locker room, this relaxation center, while upstairs will be the people still getting tortured. Basically, the athletes will be down there, relaxing, while people upstairs are getting tortured. And, well, why I said screaming prisoners, well, they couldn't scream, of course, because people would know about it. But these human rights abuses by the Argentinian regime were well known. In fact, it was well known that a neo-fascist regime was ruling Argentina, and Argentina was chosen as the area for the World Cup hosting anyways. And it was also supported by the United States, of course, because they kind of put it in place. And they kind of used the United States as a way to promote this regime as this non-violent regime as well, while people were being tortured at the same time as the stadium. The 1998 World Cup terror plot. So in 1995, this terrorist organization called the GIA would commit terror attacks in France, in both Lyon and Paris. And both of these places, well, they would be bombed and people would die. And, well, the French authorities suspected that this might happen again. And these suspicions kind of came into fruition when France had to host the 1998 World Cup. So what did they do? So prior to hosting the World Cup, they would up their alarm system called rder. And during these raids, well, they arrested 100 people who were part of the GIA. Now this was a very preventive thing. They weren't sure if they were going to commit it. But what came out after is that, well, they were planning to commit terrorist attacks during the 1998 France World Cup. So allegedly the GIA was supported by Osama bin Laden, and Osama bin Laden wanted them to throw a grenade in the stadium and infiltrate the Marseille stadium and try to shoot people from the England team like David Beckham. And even worse, they wanted to commit these explosions in the stadium and all these terrorist attacks by the GIA. So yeah, this seemingly preventive measure kind of prevented an entire terrorist attack and many lives, and even David Beckham. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys learned some disturbing facts that you can bring in your real life and shock your family. And please give a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next